Alright, welcome back to another video. The topic of today is stop restarting every Monday, how to build fitness habits that last. So be honest, how many times have you said, I'll start again Monday? Every week becomes a restart instead of real progress. But what if I told you the problem isn't your routine? The problem is your mindset. So let's get into today's video. So first we're going to talk about what the Monday restart mindset is and the illusions that come with it. We will discuss motivation versus consistency, the emotional trap of guilt, the all or nothing problem, microhabits that can bring massive change, and we also talk about why it's important to focus on discipline and not punishment. Also, to add to that, we will focus on planning for off days. Also, talking about the importance of reflecting midweek and removing the finish line. And we also dive a little bit deeper into what actually the real win is. We will also talk a bit about mindset, building systems, and celebrating small wins. So, the Monday restart mindset is basically something that people treat as a magic reset. They'll tell themselves, I'll start fresh next week. By Thursday, motivation fades, life happens, and guilt sets in. This pattern repeats week after week, year after year. And the real issue isn't laziness, it's the mindset of waiting for the perfect moment to begin. What this basically creates is this all or nothing mentality. And success only starts when conditions feel perfect, at least that's what we make ourselves believe. But the funny thing is, if you really want something, no matter what it is, in this case we're talking about fitness, but no matter what it is your goal is, if you really want something, why would you wait until Monday, or the next Monday, or the next Monday? This is part of a larger mindset trap. Linking motivation to a specific day causes people to delay taking action. Viewing Monday as a fresh start leads to an all or nothing mentality. One missed session feels like failure. This mindset discourages small meaningful efforts throughout the week, while we know damn well that small increments, small little wins accumulate over time. So what's the illusion of a fresh start? The thing is that Monday feels symbolic, right? I'll wait for Monday. But the thing is, waiting for a new week often delays action. And by the time it's Monday, you're ready to tell yourself, I'll wait for the next Monday. Like I said, real progress happens in imperfect moments, not perfect timing. The thing is that our brain craves clean slates, so a new week or month feels like the right time to restart. But waiting for these arbitrary dates only postpones results. Now let's go into motivation versus consistency. Motivation is fleeting. It fades very fast. Consistency, on the other hand, builds momentum. Consistency is a steady flame that sustains progress. Long-term results come not from bursts of enthusiasm, but from repeated manageable actions over time. So basically, skipping a workout. Let's say you told yourself you were going to do 6 workouts a week, which is awfully restrictive. And I'll get to that in a bit. Skipping a workout or breaking a routine often leads to guilt. This guilt can spiral into self-criticism, which increases the likelihood of further inaction. The restart next Monday mentality reinforces this negative cycle instead of encouraging continuous efforts. Again, it's about showing up, even though you might show up imperfect. It's better to have 3 workouts in a week instead of none, even though you told yourself that you was going to do 6. So instead of being critical on yourself, or at least very hard on yourself, replace guilt with reflection. Ask yourself questions such as, what's one small thing I can still do today that's going to lead me to my goal? I am guilty of this all or nothing mentality too. Sometimes I aim to eat 1 cookie, but instead I end up eating 3. Then I tell myself I already messed it up, so I might as well just eat the whole thing. But that's a trap a lot of people fall into. So instead of eating the whole thing, forgive yourself for the mistake you made and say to yourself, it's okay, I slipped up, but we're not gonna move ourselves further away from our goals. So it's okay that you ate 3 and that's it. It starts with awareness of what you're doing. Another thing is to be aware of what is triggering you to eat more than you say you would. Oftentimes this has to do with emotions not being expressed. So by suppressing your emotions, you basically find a different way to comfort yourself, and that's why you start eating. So basically, implementing micro habits in your life can cause massive change. Build habits so small they feel impossible to skip, like a 10-minute walk, 5 push-ups, or a quick stretch. Instead of telling yourself, I'm going 6 times a week to the gym. This is one of the reasons people fail, because it's not sustainable. The thing is that micro habits build momentum and confidence, because you're able to do them and succeed. And remember that discipline is not punishment. Discipline should be viewed as keeping promises to oneself, not as self-punishment. It's not about forcing workouts. It's about dedicating some time to your health and your mental well-being. Because right now it might feel uncomfortable not to work out, but later you might get into bigger problems because you chose all these times when you were younger and vital not to work out. So don't see it as a punishment, see it as an investment. And the thing is that each kept promise strengthens identity. It tells you your higher self, I'm someone who follows through. I'm someone who shows up for myself. Now let's not forget the off days. The off days for the ladies might be the days that you are on your period. I'm gonna give you an example. This week I have not worked out once, or maybe just one time instead of 3 times as I promised. First, I wanted to criticize myself and make it worse, but I said to myself, you know what? This is considered an off day. I'm low energy, my body doesn't feel the way it's supposed to, so it's okay to skip those days. But instead of doing nothing at all, I can just go for a brief walk or maybe do some stretching or meditation instead of doing nothing at all. There's no point in making it harder on yourself by criticizing yourself when you're doing something or you're not doing something just because your body doesn't feel well. That's the difference between punishment and self-love. But basically, it's important to have a bare minimum plan. Let's say a lighter version of training or a simple meal routine. This way, you're still moving closer to your goals, but in smaller steps. So now let's go over the midweek momentum check. Instead of waiting for Monday, even though you slipped up here and there, pause midweek, let's say on a Wednesday, to assess progress to prevent momentum loss. Ask yourself reflection questions like, what small actions can I take today? What's causing me to do this or not to do that? This helps maintaining consistency and prevent the guilt cycle. You know, this journey is heavy enough on itself. So instead of being your enemy, you might as well befriend yourself, since you need yourself to finish this journey. And I say finish, but I don't mean that it ever ends. But all I'm saying is it's a long journey. So cut yourself some slack here and there. And I said finish, so we're going to get into chapter 10, and that is remove the finish line. The thing is that fitness is not a short-term challenge. It's a lifelong practice. You have to make this a lifestyle in order for it to be sustainable. Thinking of it as temporary encourages restart cycles. So if you remove the rigid endpoints, it allows you to focus on long-term progress and habit formation rather than isolated bursts of activity. The goal isn't to start again, but to keep adjusting while staying in motion and learning from your past mistakes. And the real win is in showing up. Even minimal effort counts. 5 push-ups, a short walk, or prepping a healthy meal all contribute to progress. Action creates momentum, and small wins accumulate into larger achievements over time. And this builds your self-esteem. Because a slow week, by the way, is better than a restart. Even when motivation is gone, showing up keeps the habit alive. And also shift the language, shift your mindset. Instead of saying I'll start again Monday, use I'll continue today. The thing is that words shape your identity and your identity drives your behavior. If you say to yourself, I'm a loser, I'm a failure, what do you think you're going to do? It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because you start doing things that a loser or a failure does. So be aware of what you're saying to yourself and also what you're thinking and shift it. This way, you will definitely eventually reach your goals. And by doing so, this subtle language shift reinforces identity and keeps habits alive. In order for us to reach our goals easier, we need to build systems and not rely on willpower. Because relying solely on willpower is unreliable. Systems like meal prep, workout schedules, and reminders automate consistency. The less you have to think about something, the more easier you do it on autopilot. And it saves you energy because you don't have to contemplate and break your mind about what to do or what not to do. So basically, designing your environment for success reduces the need for constant decision making and makes habits easier to sustain. I'll give you an example. I was just outside. I went to the hairdresser and I told myself, as I said at the beginning of this series, I will not drink one single drop of alcohol. I was walking by this liquor store, not that I am a huge fan of alcohol, by the way, but I said, you know what? A great cognac would be awesome right now. But then I said to myself, no, why am I thinking that? I told myself I will not drink. So it saved me contemplating whether or not I should do it. I just thought about it and just let it go just like that. Create an environment that sustains the goal you want to achieve. If you want to stop smoking, if you hang around people that smoke, the chances are high that you will start smoking or continue smoking. So remove yourself from that environment and make sure you're in an environment that actually reflects what it is you want to achieve in life. So let's focus on the wins. Whenever you don't do something or you do something, depending on what it is you promise yourself, celebrate it. because progress isn't linear. It's built on everyday victories. So acknowledge your progress. Even minor victories reinforce good behavior. And don't forget to reward yourself whenever you achieve something. And now, in this case, if you're focusing on eating healthier, don't treat yourself with McDonald's because if it doesn't fit your macros or your diet. But you can buy maybe something nice for yourself. Let's say a perfume or something you always wanted. Don't break the bank, by the way. But treating yourself when you achieve something reinforces your behavior. And it also boosts motivation. So celebrate small wins to build momentum and strengthen identity as someone who follows through. And last but not least, the challenge that I want to give you. Don't wait for Monday. Pick one thing today, even tiny, and do it. Because there's no such thing as a perfect moment. The perfect moment is the moment you decide that today is the day you're going to start working on the thing you want. That's how momentum truly begins. And that's how you break the negative cycle. Alright, so that is the video for the day. Hope you found value. If so, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave it down in the comment sections. And have you ever said you'll start again on Monday? And how did that go for you? So be honest, drop it in the comment section. And thank you for watching as usual. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.